So, ein herzliches Willkommen auf jeden Fall hier auch von mir. Es tut mir leid, ich hatte gerade massive technische Probleme. Ich weiß leider nicht, woran es gelegen hat, aber wir starten natürlich direkt rein. Hier auch in den Stream. Ich hoffe, ihr hört mich alle. Wenn es irgendwas gibt, wenn ihr mich nicht hört, whatever, schreibt es auf jeden Fall gerne rein. Ansonsten werde ich hier auf jeden Fall direkt loslegen. Okay. Es scheint so, als wenn wir jetzt ja nicht zu spät kommen. Ist anscheinend gerade noch die Vorlaufmusik. Auf jeden Fall erstmal herzlich willkommen und jeden hier auf jeden Fall im Stream. Freut mich auf jeden Fall, dass wir heute hier wieder eine Menge Leute mit dabei sind. Ich bin auf jeden Fall sehr, sehr gespannt, was wir hier heute sehen werden. Ich muss mal ganz kurz hier schauen, dass ich alles richtig einstelle. So. Mal gleich bitte ganz kurz in den Chat schreiben, ob ihr alles hört. Ich würde mal ganz kurz den Sound hier einmal anmachen. Da mal bitte ganz kurz Rückmeldung geben, ob ihr alles hört. So, muss den tatsächlich aber leider wieder schnell ausmachen, weil sonst kriegen wir einen Copyright-Strike. Und darauf habe ich ehrlich gesagt nicht so ganz Bock, aber schreibt gerne mal rein, ob ihr was gehört habt. Dann weiß ich Bescheid und dann können wir auch gleich hier entspannt in den Stream reinstarten. Party wie am Samstag. Ja, ich bin auf jeden Fall sehr, sehr, sehr gespannt, was hier heute announced werden wird. Dankeschön auf jeden Fall danke fürs Feedback auf jeden Fall an dieser Stelle ganz kurz mal an euch. Ja, es wird auf jeden Fall spannend. Ich habe das Gefühl, es wird was sehr Großes announced werden. Wie groß oder was es sein wird, keine Ahnung. Ich weiß aber, dass auf jeden Fall was Großes announced werden wird. Weil wir nämlich gestern Abend schon im Golden Logo Chat mit David Yu gesprochen haben. Und ja, da war auf jeden Fall schon die Rede davon, dass heute auf jeden Fall was Großes kommen wird. Und ich habe auch mit ihm privat geschrieben, er meint auf jeden Fall, VeVe, don't stop. Und ja, in dem Sinne denke ich, wird es auf jeden Fall heute nochmal eine krasse Ankündigung geben. Ob es heftiger sein wird jetzt als Funko, weiß ich ehrlich gesagt nicht, kann ich nicht einschätzen. Könnte ich mir aber irgendwo auf der anderen Seite auch gut vorstellen, dass es krasser sein kann. Ich hoffe es jedenfalls, wäre auf jeden Fall nice. Es soll auf jeden Fall, ich will jetzt auch nicht zu viel spoilern, auf jeden Fall irgendwie Richtung, will ich jetzt mal sagen, Marketing gehen vielleicht, weil damit nicht nur bis jetzt sozusagen User abgeholt werden sollen, sondern auch neue. Und wir starten noch mal rein, würde ich sagen.
To have today with some conversation about this week's drops. Marvel, as you can see, is really coming hard with the drops this week for this New York Comic Con. We're really excited about everything that is dropping. And we do actually have some other announcements to make today. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome my co-hosts today, Ryan and Corey from the VeVe team. Gentlemen, how the hell are you?
So good and so happy to be here.
Nice. All right, so you guys prepared or what? Are we still, are you anything like me where you haven't packed yet and you're still making checklists of everything that you need to prepare for New York?
I don't pack until the night before. That way I'm good and tired for the flight. So I just sleep through the whole thing. But whenever we came home from San Diego Comic-Con, I did the same thing and I fell asleep on the plane on the way home and it just never left. And so I was stuck at the airport, like the plane got stuck on the tarmac for like an hour and a half or something. And I was like, why are we still here? What's happening?
Oh man, isn't it the worst? You fall asleep and you wake up and you think you're like halfway home or at least home, but no. Yeah. Brutal. Okay, well, let's see. I have invited David up to speak. I see he's in there. Maybe he's not quite ready yet, but that's okay. We are expecting Vincent Zerzullo of The Addiction today, so hopefully he can join. So if you guys can keep an eye out for him, or what was what's the marketing guy's name?
Andrew from Mondo.
Yeah, Mondo, Dr. Mondo or whatever he's calling himself on Twitter. Yeah, looking forward to hearing from them because this is obviously a big deal for us. This is our first foray into a digital and physical comic book release, which is amazing. For those of you who don't know or haven't heard Vincent in spaces as of late, interacting with people on Twitter, or have watched Corey's breakdown video of the addiction, which is amazing, by the way. Great video. I highly suggest you check that out.
Thank you.
On our YouTube channel. Did a great job of getting into Vincent's backstory and just the passion he's bringing to his first comic book title, and we're really excited to be part of that. But since you did the interview, Corey, would you mind just taking a few minutes and giving us a high level of what the addiction is and what we can expect from this release?
For sure. The Addictions, like you said, our first foray into a physical and digital comic. The team behind it is just amazing. If you haven't watched that breakdown, and if you're not familiar with Vincent and just the legacy that he has created, this is a guy who grew up with two older brothers who read comics. And as like a little 3-year-old, he would crawl and take the comics, and he couldn't even read them, and he would flip through them. Fast forward just a few years, and he's pushing comic carts on the streets of New York, selling comics from carts. And then fast forward, he opens with his partner one of the largest, if not the largest and most prominent physical comic shops in the world, Metropolis Collectibles. And I mean, just the staff that they have there. I mean, people that work there created CGC grading, like the concept of CGC grading that didn't happen until like early 2000s. His coworkers and the people that he worked with came up with that. So having Vincent spend a lifetime wanting to make a comic and us being lucky enough to be the ones that release it, you know, it's just an immense thing. And the writers and the artists that he got involved with it, it's just a dream team. It's such a lucky, fortunate thing for us.
Well, speak of the devil and the devil appear. Vincent is on stage with us. How the heck are you, mister? Can you hear us? Are you on mute?
Perfect.
Hey, here I am, guys.
Oh, you guys are together.
Yes, we're sitting in my office. Stacks of the addiction just came in from the printer, and we are surrounded by the addiction everywhere.
Amazing. I love it. All right.
It's on the walls. It's on the floors. It's everywhere.
Let's go. All right. So David's already in the New York groove. We got kicked off there with the space today.
It's freely.
So, yes, indeed. So, hey, Vincent, it's really good to hear from you. I really enjoyed the interview you did with Corey for our YouTube channel and the blog. But, you know, he started giving a little bit of a backstory here about like what your background is and where you're coming from. But do you want to give us from the video, the quote unquote elevator pitch of the addiction and how this all came to be?
Sure. It's my pleasure. So the addiction originally started, I was sitting at a drafting table in my basement where I was running my company, Vincent's Collectibles, my first mail order company. And I was like, I wanted to be a comic book artist, but I really it was just so much work to learn how to draw a hand. And I was sitting there, I started drawing, and I was like, it's this existential moment. What am I doing on this planet? What are we doing on this earth? And then it transforms into, I'm basically going, oh, wait a second, let's make a comic book. All right, so what is this character? This character's dedicated. So the addiction starts off, he's a detective. His name is Detective Nick Otino, and he's a detective who's infiltrated the mob, and he's undercover narcotics detective. He gets found out by the mafia. They kidnap him and basically shoot him up with a cocktail of drugs and leave him for dead. And he doesn't die. He comes back with this unusual power. Basically, from his slightest touch, you can inject any drug into a person's body. About a year goes by, and I'm talking to my friend David Quinn, who is an incredible comic writer. And I start telling him about this, and we decide we're going to partner up, and we're going to take this to the next level and actually make a comic book out of it. And we started to evolve the character, and the character changed from a male detective, and we made him into a female character. And her name is Dr. Nikki Tino, and obviously Nikki Tino is a play on nicotine, one of the great addictions.
Nice story auf jeden Fall.
And it evolved from there, and basically from that point, we got another artist involved, and her name was Aletha Martinez, and she did the first addiction comic book, but we never went to print. And so it sat in a closet for, gosh, almost 20 years or so. And basically, during the pandemic, during the lockdown here in New York, which became kind of the epicenter for the coronavirus, the COVID, what have you, I was basically sitting there every day facing my own mortality. If I touched the wrong thing, and I could die. Everybody, we all could. We were all facing our own mortality. And I said to myself, if my number was up tomorrow, what do I wish I would have done? I said, you know what? I wish I would have made my own comic book. And so I called up David the next morning. I said, David, I want to get back to work on the addiction. He said, I love it. And I was so happy and ecstatic. We got back to work on it, and we basically evolved the character even further and came up with a new story. And that's the one that you guys are going to get a chance to read in a few days at New York Comic Con. It is a labor of love. It is something I'm incredibly passionate about. I've been reading comic books before I could even read. I was looking at them, as Corey mentioned. And when I graduated from St. John's University, I was selling comic books on the streets of Manhattan. I had 2 card tables, 8 boxes of books. I drive into the city, set up on Broadway between John and Maiden by the financial district. And it was just incredible learning experience. And I built my business from there. And again, you can't really, there are certain points in your life where you say, you know what, I may fail, I may succeed, I may do this, I may do that. But if I don't try and I don't give it a shot, then you're never going to know. And this is one of those moments where I just said to myself, I said, David and we agreed, win, lose, or draw, we're coming out with the addiction. And then we started coming up with really interesting ideas on how we could get this out there to the world in a way that cuts through the clutter of all the other comic books in the marketplace. And one of those ways is obviously through the incredible community of VeVe. Dave, you and I have been friends for a couple of years now. When I told him my idea, he loved it. And what was even better for me, I mean, him loving it as a business idea was great, but him loving the comic book itself, oh, it just warmed my heart. And he's a true blue comic book fan. He loves comic books. So getting into business with someone like him just made it even much stronger and much better. And then seeing the outpouring of positivity and kindness from the VeVe community has been incredible. I mean, it has been beyond what we could have imagined. We are really flattered and humbled, and being the inaugural comic book that will be digital and print through VeVe is just more than I could have ever expected. And now it is my belief that we will have a successful comic book. And what I mean by that, beyond financial success, is one thing, but for me, I put down in my mind that the way this comic book is a success is if people read it and they enjoy it. And if I have people coming up to me saying, hey, I read your comic book and it really was great, I loved it, that's going to be incredible for me. That is going to make my day, my week, my month, my year, my life. It's going to be really amazing to get to meet so many people from the VeVe community who I've been meeting just on X, but now I'm going to get to meet them in person in a few days. My whole team is going to be there. Just to give you some perspective on how much time, effort, and energy we poured into this. We searched for 6 months to find the right artist, interior artist, for this comic book. And we found an incredible artist. Her name is Claudia Balboni. She has been drawing comic books for, I think, about 13 years now. And she has done Star Trek, Killer Queens, Fair Lady, and a whole bunch of other titles. And what I love about Claudia's artwork is that it kind of is a combination of European art and Japanese manga and anime styles, which I think when you see the interiors of the books and you see what's going on, you'll get a very good feel for that. But what's even cooler is I'm actually going to meet Claudia for the first time at New York Comic Con, because Claudia lives in Rome, Italy, and she and I and David have never actually spoken yet. We've only communicated via email for the last couple of years now. So she's going to be there. Then I had this incredible experience. I'm down in Miami at this little show, And I always say to myself, even if you go to a small show, every experience in your life, something good can come of it. And I'm sitting there at my booth, I'm selling vintage comic books. And this guy walks up to me and he said, "Hey, I don't know if you have a comic book store, but I made my own comic book and I'd like to know if you want to carry it in your store." And I looked at it, I started thumbing through the pages, and it's really good. And I look at one of the characters and I go, this character looks a little bit like the main character in my comic book, Nikki. And I show him a picture of her that I had on my phone. He's like, "Wow, that's pretty interesting." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Your art's really good. We should talk." And his name is Andres Labrada. He is a rising star in the world of comic books. He's worked for a ton of the independent publishers, from Boom to Dynamite, and now he is the cover artist for not one issue of The Addiction, but all three. So the first story arc is 3 issues, and Andres Labrada has done the Grimaldi's cover, which I'll get into in a little bit, as well as the VeVe Blue and VeVe Red, which are variations of one another. And then he's doing a cover for issue number 2, which there are 2 variations on that, and a cover for issue number 3. And each one of them, in my opinion, are just stellar, like pop art type of things. When you see them, they're going to be covers that you'll remember for years to come. Guys, if I'm talking too much, please stop me, because I can go on for hours talking about The Addiction.
No, but no, we can feel the excitement and the passion, Vincent. This is really exciting for us as well. And I think it's important for everybody to hear from you directly, just, what a labor of love this is and how it came to be. So yeah, keep on going.
Yeah.
I do definitely want to get into the Grimaldi's thing, as well as
So
what the experience at your booth at New York Comic Con is
okay.
going to be like.
So let me talk about Grimaldi. So another thing, David and I are huge foodies, and I grew up in the Italian restaurant business, and I've always had a passion for cooking, passion for food. And I said, what else, what hasn't been done in comic books yet? And I think one of the things that hasn't been done really is uh, launching a comic book in conjunction with a New York City restaurant. So I thought about places I really loved, and I thought about Grimaldi's Pizzeria at the Limelight. Now, for those of you who aren't native New Yorkers or don't know about Grimaldi's, Grimaldi's is a coal oven pizza, and they started off under the Brooklyn Bridge, and it's part of the whole Patsy's story. That's another story. Basically, Grimaldi's at the Limelight. The Limelight used to be a church. The church was converted into a nightclub, which was huge in the 80s and 90s. And now it's turned into a high-end shopping, as well as this amazing pizzeria called Grimaldi's. So I reached out to the owners of Grimaldi's and told them about my idea, and they loved it. They love comic books. They are so into pop culture. One of the owners also does a social media channel about Disney, so he and his wife are really into that. But we started talking, and basically the whole concept was, we're going to put Grimaldi's on the cover of one of our comic books. So that's the product placement part of this, or branding, or cross promotion. And now, if you go into Grimaldi's at the Limelight, and they also have a location at Douglaston in Long Island. So if you're in Long Island, you can go to the Douglaston shop, and you order the Addiction Special. By the way, you can also order it on Seamless and Grubhub. So if you order the Addiction Special, which is pepperoni, mushrooms, and truffle oil, you will get a QR code, which is on a business card, which I think will also become collectible. We only printed 500 of them so far, and you will get that QR code, and you can then read the beginning of the Addiction, about 6 or 7 pages, to get a flavor of it, and then you can buy it either through VeVe or through us. And so that was one of the other ways I wanted to differentiate us from the rest of the pack. We have posters that are going up in the pizzerias tomorrow. The other thing we're doing that's really cool, we also have we're doing a signing in case you can't make New York Comic Con on Friday night from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. We will be on Broadway between 12th and 13th at one of the greatest comic book stores in the history of New York City, Forbidden Planet. So me, David, Claudia, Andres, and hopefully Dave Sharp, who is our letterer, who did an amazing job, will be there signing. and it's going to be a blast.
Schreibt gerne mal eure Meinung, by the way, ganz kurz zu dieser Aktion mal hier in den Chat. Das würde mich mal echt interessieren.
I've been going to conventions as a little kid, but as the business has evolved and changed, what I've noticed is, you know, sometimes you have promoters and publishers and independent publishers who just have a booth and they're sitting there and they kind of look like sad sacks and they're just, you know, they're just like twiddling their thumbs, and that's not our bag. That's not what we do. Anybody who knows me from the vintage comic book business knows that I like to make a really great impression in terms of showcasing comic books in a way that I believe they need to be treated with great respect, love, and adoration in terms of their importance in terms of being, in my opinion, the greatest American art form. And so what we're doing at our booth, we're going to have this incredible backdrop with the VeVe blue cover on it. Everything is branded The Addiction and VeVe. We take our partnership with VeVe extremely seriously. And what you'll also see at the booth is you'll see Claudia and Andres Labrada. They'll be there signing. And David and I will be there as well signing if anybody wants my autograph, which still is going to be very weird for me. But we're also going to have Andrew, who is our global branding manager, helping run the booth, as well as we'll have two Nickies there. So I will have, we will have two Nickies at the booth if anybody wants to take pictures. And we're also, one thing I haven't really told anybody on VeVe yet, and this is something that's really important. We will be having a cosplay contest. So the whole idea here is the best cosplayer as Nikki or one of the other characters from the story, if you can get a costume together in time, if you win the cosplay contest, you'll be photographed, and that photograph will be one of the variant covers for issue number 3. So
wow.
That's one of the things we have not really announced very much yet, but we've had our hands full, to say the least. But we're trying to make this really fun. We'll also our Nickies will have some props, and we're actually going to the Limelight tomorrow night. The Grimaldi's at the Limelight tomorrow night to shoot some video for social media. So you'll get to meet our Nickies, and they're both fantastic people, incredible energy. They both look the part, which is also really cool. Nikki is, by the way, just for those of you who don't know a lot about our character, Nikki is biracial. She's half Chinese American and half Italian American. And one of the reasons we did that was because we wanted to have someone who looked rather unique, someone who appealed to a variety of different audiences and ages, and with that being said, it's really turned into this really cool looking character, and we also wanted to steep the character in some sort of reality. You know, you are dealing with a comic book character, of course, with fantastic powers in a very strange world, but it's also steeped in the reality of New York City, which is another character in and of itself. But check this out. So my idea was, if you are really a superhero, unless you were, you know.
Also ich weiß nicht, wie es euch geht, aber mir redet der Typ ein bisschen zu viel. Also ich möchte mal hier, dass ein bisschen Aktion reinkommt. Das ist ja grauenhaft. Hier soll mal ein Announcement kommen. Mann.
Her skin turns a chalky white and her eyes turn black. It's a very cool look and interesting, and you'll see it in the interiors of the first issue or online if you follow us at Addiction HQ on Instagram, or just check us out on X and anywhere else. We're working on everything. I think I just posted something on TikTok this morning. The VeVe teaser video you guys did the other day, which was absolutely outstanding. Corey, you did such an amazing job, and your wife has been incredible too. We were on the on one of the live shows with her the other day, and it was so much fun. This has all been more than I could have ever expected, and I'm incredibly grateful and very happy to be part of this VeVe community and learning more about it and learning a lot more about Web3, and yeah, it's just been fantastic. So yeah. I mean, did I give you guys the elevator pitch? I don't even know if I've given you the elevator pitch. I think I told you a long winded story about how this came to be, but I could give you the elevator pitch really quick if you'd like it.
I mean, if it was the elevator pitch, it was a very tall building.
Es ist schon mal sorry an der Stelle für dieses ganze Gerede hier. Ich hoffe mal, dass bald hier mal ein bisschen Action kommt.
Sorry. One of the things I didn't want to get into here was about the actual physical comics on sale at your booth. Now, there's something very interesting that you're doing that I think is probably unprecedented for a new release comic. Can you tell us about the physical versions that you're selling?
Yes.
Bitte nicht noch mehr.
For me, I was actually at a Gary Vaynerchuk VCon in Minneapolis, Minnesota, about a year and a half ago, and a guy came up to me with a comic book, and all of his comic books had printed numbers on them. And I said, "Wow, how'd you do that?" So it was just laser printing, and I thought it'd be really cool, and so people know what number they have. So I was like, "All right, that's pretty darn cool. Okay, let's think about that." I'm putting that in my brain, and basically what we have here is we have limited edition variants. So we have the NYC variants, which there are approximately a thousand. I should say approximately because there's some overages when printers print. So we might actually have a little bit more than 1,000 on the VeVe Blue and VeVe Red. On the rest of them, which I haven't even told you the covers, the Grimaldi's cover, we have the Aletha Martinez cover, which is in black and white and is absolutely gorgeous. We have the David Mack cover, David Mack from Kabuki, and he also created the character Echo and Daredevil. He worked on Daredevil, wrote Daredevil. He's an incredible creator, and he came on board, and so we got those three, and then of course one of the greatest digital cover artists of the modern age, Stanley Lau, who you probably know better as Artgerm. So he's done, and those covers will be 600 of each approximately. Then what we've done is we have a virgin version of each of those, and the no trade dress or virgin copies, they'll be limited to 25. We'll also have, which is really exciting, we'll also have the Labrada VeVe Blue and VeVe Red covers. We overnighted from our printer down to CGC, and Andres drove 3 hours from Miami to Sarasota to get into the CGC offices, and he signed right now 100 copies of each. There'll be another 100 coming up later on down the line, but for right now we have got 100 copies. They are signed, numbered CGC signature series, and they will be available at the booth as well. Also, on top of that, we're going to have limited edition NYC prints and limited edition cards with the covers on them and a little story about the artists on the back. And I'm very wanted to share with everybody that my wife Josephine did a lot of the design work on the posters, the prints, and the cards, even our business cards, our QR codes. She's amazing. She's an amazing art director and designer, and I'm so happy she saved us. she pulled our butts out of the fire a few times this last week and a half, so it's been pretty amazing.
Also ich finde es ja sehr nice, ne, dass er so ein bisschen erzählt so über den Background, aber so langsam halbe Stunde reicht dann auch mal, muss ich tatsächlich sagen.
Including, if I heard correctly, slab CGC graded copies of both the VeVe Red and Blue covers.
Yes.
Signed by Labrada.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. So I would suggest that you be prepared for the VeVe fam and how they will bum rush your booth come first thing Thursday morning.
I'm going to be, you guys, I want you all to be prepared. If you see me like teary-eyed, just give me a moment, because it's like beyond a dream come true for me to be able to do this, just to even make this, and then to have such an incredible community enthusiastic about it really touches my heart. I cannot stress it enough. I don't take this lightly. I take my business very seriously, whether it's Metropolis or Comic Connect, my vintage dealership and auction company, or the Addiction comic book. I take it very seriously. It's near and dear to my heart, and I pour my life's blood into these things, and to have any type of positive reaction about it is gonna just really be very powerful for me. And I'm thanking you all ahead of time.
Nehme ich schon mal ein Kissen mit zum Schlafen, denn ich denke, das werde ich brauchen.
Yeah, same here. We're fired up on this side, obviously. I know you have David with you, and I'm not sure how close proximity if it's going to weird out the mic, but maybe David, do you want to add a little something about how excited and how this all came about?
Yeah. Obviously, one of the major part is I'm a good client of Vincent. Going back a couple of years now, and yeah, when he first shared me the idea, I just said, listen, we have to do it on VeVe. You have to make it a digital version for us. And one thing leads to another. The exclusive cover idea came about. And when he showed me the pizza box idea, some of you probably may know, if I wasn't going to do VeVe, or if I did retire from VeVe, I was going to be a pizza reviewer. So, and it was just naturally, I had to do it, bring it to our fan group. So the book will be available. They are real. I'm looking at them. In fact, I'm touching at it with it. So I'm overly joy and excited. And there's more to share with you, the second part of the segment today. If I sound a little bit shaky, because I am shaky today, because there's a lot of announcements for this New York Comic Con.
Jetzt wird's spannend, habe ich das Gefühl.
I will be at the booth at Addiction every now and then in between, probably starting from Friday. I'm only there half day on Thursday. As you guys know, we got that massive VeVe VIP party happening. So I'm gonna get all set up. So
jetzt alle Ohren steif machen.
For you guys.
Amazing. Yes. All right. So this is, like we said, shaping up to be a pretty epic New York Comic Con, and we do actually have some more to get into. So I want to thank Vincent once again for coming by. David, if you can stick around as well, we'll let Vincent run. But really look forward to meeting you in person, Vincent. I know we met briefly in San Diego, but just to, with everything going on, I'm really excited to kind of dive deep into the world of the addiction, and look forward to working with you.
Thank you so very much. It was a pleasure. And guys, if I was all over the place, it's just because I've never had a shipment of my own comic book with my name on it come into my office before. This is all a very, very overwhelming experience. And again, I can't thank you guys enough for everything you're doing to promote us and to explain to people what we're all about. Just know, everybody out there, that you're not dealing with people who are putting money first. You're dealing with people who love comic books, and that's really important. I think that anybody who gets into this has got to have that as the first and foremost thing, that they're passionate about this art form, and I really am. I've dedicated my life to it, and it's just a fantastic experience. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, awesome. And if you haven't already, everybody, please give Vincent a follow, as well as the addiction handles on social, and let's just keep the vibes going.
All right,
we'll see you at the addiction booth, Vincent, and looking forward to it.
Right on. Thanks so much.
Right on. Okay, so let's move on. We do want to cover quickly all of the Marvel drops that we have this week.
Okay.
David, do you want to talk a little bit about what the experience was about crafting this offering for this year? I know usually we do around Comic-Con a series of Marvel drops, especially if we're sharing booth space with them, so that we make sure that we have a good lineup of things to promote over the course of the entire con. But this one is pretty epic, and obviously in celebration of 60 years of X-Men, we have a very X-Men forward offering this time. So you want to
Ich habe das Gefühl, es kommt auf jeden Fall ein weiteres Announcement mit Marvel, eventuell nochmal Funko Pop oder sowas. Mal gucken.
I've been tweeting out the logo X for some time. I was just overly excited with what we coming up partner with Marvel on this anniversary. Now, one of the major thing we wanted to bring out was a different stylus type of color, and many of you guys probably have seen the style. It's very much I forgot the word. Corey.
Cell shading.
Yeah, cell shading, which is a form of and shaders, different color, the shadow, and into it. So bringing out something very truly unique, and hopefully we will start bringing out products in these type of color theory. And this is a brand new launch line that we want to trial and test it out.
Yeah, amazing. They look like they're ripped right from the pages of the comic book. It's really cool, and I'm really excited to see more Marvel collectibles in this style. For lack of a better term, cell shading is just kind of generally how we're characterizing the stylization on these 3D models. But Corey, I know you did a little bit more of a deep dive on this. You have anything to add on that front?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, some people call it cell shading, some people call it toon shading, but really what it is just a way to take something that's animated and make it look more like a comic book. And we kind of saw the first instances of this like in the late 90s with Japanese animation films. Japanese animation films are really the first ones that really started applying this effect. And then you kind of saw it trickle down into larger media. And, so recently, Borderlands, the video game, isn't technically cell shading, but a lot of people refer to it in the same vein, or, Miles Morales Across the Multiverse. But yeah, it's just such a unique way of representing our digital collectibles. And for me, it just feels a little more fresh because it has that comic book feel, which lets us tie it into some of the awesome comics that we already have. Kingpin coming out and us having Amazing Spider-Man number 50. It's so cool to be able to pair those things together. So I'm really excited to see more of these.
Absolutely. All right, so let's do a quick rundown of all the details for the Marvel drops this week, and we'll get into some announcements. All right, so first off, on Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, we have X-Men 60 Uncanny Years poster, which is an amazing poster done by the Marvel art design team. That is a list price of 30 gems, only 600 editions on this one. It is a secret rare and a con exclusive. So moving on to our first quote unquote cell shading character and Kingpin. He comes from the Daredevil universe, but obviously we know he made his first appearance in a Spider-Man comic. A foe to both street level heroes in the Marvel universe. Corey, you want to give us just a quick little background on Kingpin?
For sure. Wilson Fisk, he made his first appearance in Amazing Spider-Man number 50. I've always liked him because I'm a big fan of Daredevil. I'm a big fan of street level heroes, like when it comes down to it. And Wilson Fisk has always been a unique hero or a unique villain, because some villains are just kind of like you can't relate to them at all. But Wilson Fisk has always been calculated. He's very much a businessman, and he's always conniving to do a little bit better. And I've always liked his different representations in comics. Sometimes he's portrayed as, might makes right, like he's this unstoppable force, almost like a Rhino character, right? He's so strong, he could just rip anything in half. But all these unique portrayals over time has really just built like a really cool canonical background for the character. So no matter where you look, whether it's Netflix or a comic book, you have great representations of Kingpin, to fall back on. So it's awesome to see him as a collectible.
Right on. And so that'll drop on Friday, October 13th, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. That is a list price of 40 gems with 2,444 editions. And that comes in as an ultra rare first appearance. Very cool. Now, we have several at this point, quote unquote, Grail comics on VeVe. We're very fortunate to be working with Marvel to publish some of the most iconic books in their history. And Saturday's drop is no exception, with the coming of Uncanny X-Men #1. This is the very first X-Men issue in which all of the X-Men are introduced alongside Magneto. I know you are the breakdown king, Corey, so I'm going to ask you to give us a little bit more on this as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're an X-Men fan, it doesn't get much better than this. And this released like in an awesome time for comics, because Avengers #1 released, I think, on the same exact day even. But if you're one of those people that's always looking at articles and trying to predict that what's going to be coming next, you'll start to see a lot more X-Men stuff. You're seeing the reboot of the animated X-Men series coming. So this comic, its importance just can't be overstated. I mean, I think I said it in the breakdown video, but as long as I've been alive, there's always been an X-Men. And I just imagine if you were alive during that period and you picked this up off the newsstand for 12 cents and you were flipping through it, like how that must have blown your mind. And clearly it did, because more than half a century later, we're still rolling out awesome X-Men stuff. So I'm just madly excited for this comic. And it's just another great addition to the amazing number of grails that we are getting from Marvel.
Yeah, no doubt. There has been some bangers dropped on VeVe over the course of the 2 or almost 3 years now that we've been dropping them. So looking forward to this one. This is, again, Uncanny X-Men #1 from 1963, the first appearance of X-Men Magneto. This is also first appearance
for like everyone, right?
Yeah,
like Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast. Yeah.
Yeah, Angel, Iceman, Professor X, and Magneto. Amazing. So if you haven't
So
seen
good.
it already, we have a breakdown video on the blog as well as a YouTube short, which are a lot of fun. But this drops on Saturday, October 14th at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. That is the standard blind box waitlist. It's a list price of 20 gems and total editions of 10,000. So grails can be said, but this one is a banger for sure. All right, in keeping with the X-Men theme, the final Marvel drop of the weekend happens on Sunday, and we have more cell shading stylization in these two, and it is Professor X and Magneto both dropping at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on Sunday, 15th of October. These are individual sales, so they are not blind box. So that means you can join each waitlist independently. These have a list price of 40 gems each. Professor X has 2,666 editions as an ultra rare, and Magneto has 2,888 editions also as an ultra rare, both first appearances. I don't know what else we can say about the importance of these characters. I mean, it is the founder of the X-Men and his arch nemesis, basically part of every major X-Men storyline over the years. But Corey, anything you want to add on these two particular characters?
Well, from like a collectible standpoint, a thing that got me really excited whenever, I first saw this on the calendar is these are the first of our cell shaded lines, but they're also both animated as well. So Kingpin releases first in terms of cell shading, but these will be the first animated cell shades. So that's really, really cool. And I love the animation on Magneto. It's just beautiful. And when you think of X-Men, right, like the two that you think of really are Magneto and Professor X. I mean, iconic.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to clarify on the animation, the quote unquote power that they use is has some motion to it. So obviously,
it's a static animation.
Yeah. So it's the brain waves on Professor X, and then the magnetism, I guess, from Magneto.
The master of the mind and the master of magnetism.
Yeah, indeed. All right, so that brings us to the end of the Marvel drops. We will have a little bit more a little bit more Marvel to talk about here in the space, but I do want to get into some other things. Actually, let me ask David here. David, how much do you have a little bit more time to spend with us? Because I definitely want to pick your brain on one of the things we're announcing today.
Yeah, I'll stay on.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do this.
All right.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's go.
Promised, we have a few things that we have not announced yet that are also dropping this week. And we'll go ahead and start things off. I'm going to tweet this in real time and get it pinned to the top here so we can all enjoy it together. This is a next drop from our friends at Tokidoki. Tokidoki will be bringing their Tokimondo line. I almost said that wrong. Tokimondo line to VeVe. And I think some of you may recognize this guy. And that's getting tweeted now. And I will pin that to the top so that we can.
Oh, sorry.
8 a.m. All the information is on the blog. I'm going to pin this to the top for you guys all to see it. But let's go through the details. Quickly, we'll read this. 5 Tokidoki Tokimondo digital collectibles drop in blind box waitlist format on Friday, October 13th at 10 a.m.
13 Gems ist in Ordnung, würde ich sagen.
p.m. Eastern Time. Now, Tokimondo is a line of kaiju. There's a little backstory here. Basically, they live in a world, and a chef in one of Tokyo's oldest restaurants entered a portal through the freezer when he was getting some stuff to cook up, and discovered a world of all of these kaiju. And he brought one back. He brought an egg back with him and birthed it in Tokyo. And so these little guys are doing their best not to destroy everything.
Da wird aber, denke ich, noch was kommen. Also das ist jetzt nicht das Announcement, da gehe ich ganz stark von aus, was jetzt hier das One More Thing sein wird, sondern wird noch was kommen, keine Sorge.
Too much havoc. 5 collectibles. We'll start with Kaiju Tokimon, wears giant sneakers to crush things, but has a natural inclination towards kindness. He learns not to destroy, but to cherish and respect our beautiful modern world. These are blind box waitlist, so they're all going to come in at 13 gems. Kaiju Tokimon is the common at 2,650 editions. This is a con exclusive. Next up, the uncommon Kingdos. Kingdos has a double personality and changes his mind quite often. Sometimes his two brains start to argue. His ability to see everything surrounding him in 360 degrees helps him find gas stations and gasoline, which feeds him. This is 1850 editions, and that's the uncommon. Coming up next, the rare Mamimon. Mamimon is the has a gigantic amount of patience and loves to take care of her eggs and children. She enjoys warming them up with the rainbow flames that come out of her mouth. This is the rare at 1,450 editions. Next up, the ultra rare. This is
Nee, würde ich nicht sagen, Martin. Also da wird noch was kommen, glaube ich. Also das kann ich nicht vorstellen. Das ist jetzt nicht das Announcement, denke ich.
And changes the color of his skin. This is 1,050 editions as an ultra rare. And finally, Lil Boss, the secret rare. Lil Boss loves to play with humans' cars, but ends up breaking them unintentionally. His favorite vehicle is a milk truck so he can drink all the milk. Often curious, he pulls open houses by the roof to check to see what's inside, like human kids do when playing with doll houses. This is the secret rare at only 750 editions. Again, this drops on the 13th of October, Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific.
Genau, sehe ich nämlich auch so. Das wird David selbst vorstellen dann gleich.
Blind box waitlist. That article is live now, so check it out. Very excited for Tokidoki to join the lineup again. David, I know we've been friendly and working with Tokidoki for a while now, since probably the very beginning, but tell us about Tokimondo and the character Kaiju Tokimon, who appeared in very early loading screens of the app. It's finally here. We're finally getting it on VeVe.
Yeah. Oh man, it's taking forever, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's finally coming to VeVe officially as part of this Comic-Con 23 for New York. We have been waiting for so long. I mean, the monster, I do believe, was finished and approved over a year ago. We were just finding the right moment in time to puzzle and
Kann ich mir tatsächlich auch gut vorstellen. Also entweder Marvel oder NFL in die Richtung.
To bring Kaiju needs to be taking down the New York City. VeVe needs to be taking over the New York this Comic Con. So we just bringing out this exclusive series. Are we announcing another exclusive partnership, or that's going to be a secret on that? Alex?
Are you talking about the one associated with this?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready to get into it now if you are.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So
Come on.
because obviously, one of the most famous toy shop in town. If you in New York, if you have time to drop by, a great friend of mine live. He owns the Toy Tokyo store. I let you guys take it away with what's coming out exclusive with Toy Tokyo on this occasion.
Yes, I mean it is like one of the New York standards in terms of collectibles and toys, designer toys. One of the very first to ever bring
Okay, that's cool.
To a wide audience. They have a cult following, if you will, and we are excited to bring out our next gold Toy Tokyo exclusive for Kaiju Tokimondo, and this is the gold Kaiju. I'm sorry, Kaiju Toki Gold, and that should be pinned up top if you have not seen that. But let's get into the details. This is a very exciting thing.
Ich glaube, du hast mehr erwartet gerade, ne?
A Jermaine Marauders piece. We've had Dragon Girl, also from Tokidoki in gold, as part of the the Toy Tokyo Gold line. But this is a secret rare collectible from Tokidoki Tokimon line. The Kaiju Toki Gold is a rare breed that lives on a secret volcanic island described in a pirate's map.
Also ich wäre sehr enttäuscht, wenn es jetzt wirklich nur Tokidoki wäre und ich könnte mir auch nicht vorstellen, dass David das als riesiges Announcement bezeichnet. Also weiß ich nicht.
Steps he leaves giant footprints that fill the earth with gold. So this drops on Saturday, October 14th at 10 a.m., 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern. It's a list price of 35 gems. It's a secret rare and only 500 editions. So keeping in the tradition of Toy Tokyo drops on VeVe, this is going to be a scarce one. So really excited to bring Toy Tokyo back to the fold with their collaboration again on Tokidoki. So that is, again, on Saturday. Really excited about that one. Is Toy Tokyo, I assume, is going to have a booth at New York Comic Con, correct?
Yeah, yes, 100%. And, for those who doesn't know the retailer, they basically is one of those institution toy store that bought many of the artists collabs, the famous calls from Donnelly, from Frank's works, Tokidoki's work, from Simone, Jermaine Rogers, Gary Basement. He supported all these artists when no one even known, including the first ever Funko Pop's Bubblehead was sold through Toy Tokyo before they all got big. So it's one of those place people think is, good curse. When you are sold there, you become big and very, very collectible. So if you, they will have a store quite nearby us on the other side of the hall in the end. So yeah, please do drop by and say hi to the owner live there. He's going to be there the whole weekend. But definitely, we've been waiting for another piece of product that for this collab, so it's taking a while. So I hope people who love the gold and silver edition, this is another one definitely to add to your collection.
Absolutely, and Lev is a legend, so yeah, definitely make sure you swing by and say what's up. Or if you're in town for Comic-Con, go by Toy Tokyo. It's an amazing little shop, and it's quite overwhelming to be honest with you. It's amazing in there.
I believe their booth is 1170, by the way.
1170. Right. Thank you very much, Corey. All right, how about some more? Are we feeling all right? We feeling good? We think we have a couple more in us.
Yeah. So, how much are we refilling every day today, right? On the sheet.
Yes. So next up, I will let you take us away, and Corey, actually, since there is a little teaser video about it coming. But we have the first digital comic by one of our favorite artists on the platform. David, tell us about Big Top Propaganda.
Oh my God, this is, yeah. So a lot of you probably have seen a lot of Ron's products been coming out. He made an exclusive comic with additional pages for VeVe. So for the very, very first time, we're going to be releasing a Ron English comic book on VeVe. And this also had the extended version, because when I read through it,
Ich hoffe nicht, dass es jetzt das war, ehrlich gesagt. Das wäre echt
so
schon ein bisschen mau.
Additional, I think 10 more or a dozen page of the story of the rabbits he created, which is one of the first ever toy that he ever produced. So that's coming onto VeVe for the very first time. And a lot of you who's going to be at the 12th VIP party, you will be very surprised, and you will see a lot of the party decoration is created by Ron. So I hope, and he will be there doing signings, he will be there taking photos and sign your collectibles on the spot. But Corey, I'll let you take it away on introducing this new masterpiece.
Yeah, we're going to be getting 2 variant covers. And I want to say this thing is like 45 pages, so it is thick. And you're getting...
Aber Peter, du schreibst es gerade schon gut. Non-VeVe-Fans rasten schon aus. Ich kann mir beim besten Willen gerade nicht vorstellen, dass es das war. Weil das sind für mich keine großen Announcements, muss ich sagen. Vielleicht kommt das Beste noch zum Schluss. Mal gucken, ich hoffe es auf jeden Fall.
Sort of artwork, and it's drawn in that style. So all of the pages kind of look like they're tea-stained. It's very like gritty. I love it, and I hope you all love it too. It's going to be really amazing. Like I said, 45 pages, so you're getting quite the bang for your buck on this one.
Yeah, definitely. And Ron, as we all know, can be pretty out there with Delusionville and the worlds that he's built, and this is no different. This is pretty fantastic stuff.
So it ties into that, Alex, what you're talking about. It ties into Delusionville, so it's going to give you like a deeper insight into that world, because Ron's built like religions and species and characters, and it's sort of a play on our current society as he perceives it. So the comic is a trip, but it is awesome. It's such a fun thing to read through.
Nice. Yeah, it's probably one of the most colorful comic book I have ever seen. It's pretty much the title. It's right. It's probably you're gonna get what you asked for. And there's very low run though. Corey, what's the run we're doing on these?
So I can go quickly into that.
I'd have to double check. I haven't seen the finalized numbers on that.
Yeah,
or at least they're not in front of me right this moment. Okay,
I got them. Yeah, the article's published. So it is drops on the 15th October. That's Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern time. This is a $6.99 gems comic with 2 variant covers, and the total editions between the 2 variant covers is 2,888. So pretty scarce. The common is only 2,222, while the ultra rare is 666. So that's is a 2 variant cover or 2 cover offering for this digital comic on VeVe. Ron English's first digital comic with us, and boy, is it something. So be on the lookout for that. That drops Sunday. Very excited.
And we'll have a teaser video for you all for that as well.
Yes.
So Ron will talk about it and give you a little bit of insight.
All right. Well, we're at the top of the hour, and I don't know. I think we covered a lot of good stuff today. We covered the addiction. We covered all the Marvel drops. We got some other drops that we are announcing today, be it Big Top Propaganda from Ron English, Kaiju Toki Gold, and Toki Mondo from Toki Doki. But somehow I feel like it's just not quite enough yet. I think we can do
Sehr gut.
maybe one more. What do you think, David?
Sehr gut. Komm.
Oh man, I mean, we're in New York, right? So celebrating the X-Men anniversary is a big thing. You know, I told Marvel, well, we're in New York Comic Con, and what else has to happen in New York? So we wanted, you know, I wanted to make sure that we are going to bring out another key product, and this is the first ever time exclusive cover variant of a #1 comic. We're very, very lucky to get this onto VeVe as a physical product from Marvel. So I do want to announce that we are getting, and it will be sold first come, first served basis at the VeVe Marvel booth. The Superior Spider-Man Returns #1 as a physical comic. This is a truly dream come true for me. The backside of the comic, you will see the VeVe logo. There are 2 I'll let Corey to run through after this. But really, I wanted to bring something belongs to New York City, and what else could we celebrate with this amazing addition to your collection? So this is another way. What we really want to do is to get new physical items to get people to sign up onto VeVe. So Corey, I'll let you take it away because I'm touching it. I'm going to be posting on my Instagram or Twitter. It is real. It is in front of me.
Nicht schlecht, hätte ich mir erwartet, aber nicht schlecht. Nicht schlecht, finde ich.
I only had the first time the privilege to open the box and smell the paper. And it's amazing.
I think that's the best thing about all of this is how excited you get about it, Dave. You've been sending pictures of you opening the boxes. It's super exciting for all of us.
Yeah, so you take it away because I'm just overjoyed.
For sure. And do we have the video ready to go out, Alex, for that one, the teaser video?
Yeah, it's right up top. Ready?
Awesome. And so what David's talking about is this is our first physical only comic from Marvel. There'll be 2 variants for it, and it's for Superior Spider-Man Returns #1. And this is a 10th anniversary spectacular one-shot that pays homage to that Superior Spider-Man run. And if you're not familiar with that one, it was a super popular run. Essentially, Doc Ock and Peter Parker swap brains because Doc Ock believes he can be a superior Spider-Man. And so it was like a wildly popular comic. And so the 10th anniversary of that is coming up. And this comic, the physical comic, doesn't release from Marvel, the print version of it, until the 11th. And our VeVe variants of it become available for sale the following day at New York Comic Con. So this is super exciting because we are prepping to release a comic at the same exact time, a physical comic at the same exact time as Marvel. It's such a massive step for us. What do you think, Alex?
I mean, I fear for my life.
Lasst uns gerne auf jeden Fall, nachdem hier der Stream fertig ist, auf jeden Fall mal ganz kurz quatschen. Das würde mich auf jeden Fall sehr interessieren, was eure Meinung dazu ist.
We have 2 ways to purchase this, physical only.
Okay.
Available for purchase at New York Comic Con. There is the VeVe physical variant, which is $20. Credit or debit only, or the VeVe Virgin variant, which is available in a bundle that comes with the VeVe variant and a Virgin variant in this New York Comic Con exclusive bundle, and that is $50.
Scheiße.
So while supplies last, we'll have that available at our booth. So be orderly about it. We'll probably queue everybody up, but it's amazing.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Yeah, VeVe is on the back cover of this, and these are obviously a big deal because as Corey mentioned, this is an homage to the original Superior Spider-Man Returns run from Dan Slott and I believe Ryan Bregman, who return along with
Stegman,
Ryan Stegman. Who are joined by superstar artists Mark Bagley, Giuseppe Pimpoli, and Humberto Ramos, who we have actually some work on the platform already, both in the form of VeVe exclusive covers and a one-of-one Marvel artwork. So this is pretty awesome.
Ich gebe mein Bestes auf jeden Fall.
And our VeVe exclusive, to the two VeVe exclusive physical variants we're getting, the exclusive artists for those are Mike McCone and Israel Silva. I want to say.
Oh, very cool. All right.
Thank you.
Good to know. Yeah, so we will have the article with a little more information later today on the blog. But for now, enjoy the teaser video and make your game plan to get to the booth and buy yours. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's an amazing milestone, I think, for the company, and I can imagine for you yourself, David, in having, you know, something that you've worked so closely on in VeVe, have been represented on an actual physical Marvel comic.
Yeah, I mean, this is a quite rare occasion where they produce a comic cover exclusive for a non-retail shop. And normally you have to order them, you have to sell X amount before you can get these covers done. Yeah, we're very, very lucky. They are extremely hard to get. They are very, very limited run. Obviously, the reason why we make the Virgin variant, you have to buy in bundles because they only printed a few of those for us. The artwork is amazing. I was very lucky to work with the artist to pick out the artwork I wanted to be on the first ever VeVe Marvel physical comic. You definitely don't want to miss this one. The story, the colors inside, the characters, it's a very good issue. It's a very big book. Once again, this is a true dream come true for myself. As a collector, this is the highest I could get. You know, this Comic-Con having Addiction comic coming out with the physical release. So just keep in mind when you purchase an Addiction comic, the CGC graded one, you're going to accompany with a redemption code for a digital one. And so that's amazing. That's our first true digital comes out. And, you know, just having our own exclusive physical variant cover for Marvel on a special #1 issue is something, you know, milestone for us, as you mentioned, Alex. So, guys, you know, hopefully you guys will get yourself a hand onto one of these. I know a lot of people who don't even click VeVe, who just click comic, will be after this artwork. So, yeah, get there early. That's all I can say.
Especially because it's the first ever. It'll be the first ever Marvel physical comic we ever release. So even people that are outside of VeVe are just going to see the concept of that's the first ever and this company's doing well. I need to have that. So I just hope I can get one.
Yes, indeed. So do I. We'll see how it goes. But really excited about it. And I want to thank everybody for coming by today. Everybody on stage. David, thank you for taking time out today to talk about all this amazing stuff we have going at Comic-Con. Do you have any parting words before we wrap things up and get ready to hop on planes and head your way?
Yeah, you know, for those of you who are traveling in, be safe, and, you know, we'll hope to see you in the event itself or one of our VeVe party event. Really looking forward to just to catch up with the wider team. I think there's over 30 team members going to be in town from VeVe, so we're here to host you and a great night in the VeVe party. If you haven't registered or being invited or being as someone's +1, you know, I think we are going to be opening the next lot of the gold Mowgli holders. But I think the entrance will be a lot later because we are currently over capacity, being, you know, like 10x than where we should be, to be honest.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we'll see how that goes. But can we give any sneak peeks? I know you talked a little bit about Ron English art being on the screens and present in the venue. But can you tell us a little bit more about what's happening at the party? I heard something crazy about some aerialists or something like that.
Oh, yeah, we've got a night of entertainment coming. the entertainment's going to be great. And plus, you are going to see the first sneak peek of the Funko VeVe Marvel Iron Man, the Tony Stark 18-inch toy. Come see it. We've got a lot of prizes. We've got a lot of giveaway for the evening. So you do want to get there if you can. And I do believe that afterwards that we will be moving the statues, the 18-inch Funko toys to the booth in Marvel. So to Comic-Con. So some of you will get the first sneak peek to look at it. And I do believe they are sending us the entire set. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
I haven't physically seen them. But the truck driver who's delivered 100 cartons this morning say, what are these? I mean, they showed up to someone's house with 100 cartons. So,
okay. Well, thank you to whoever is holding those for us until the party. But all right. Well, that's good. You know what? It's funny. We got through all of this, and we didn't even really touch a bit on the Funko relationship. We haven't talked to you, David, about this. Let's just briefly talk about another milestone for VeVe and our first digital release with a major toy company, Funko, which is incredible. This is the first time that this form factor has been offered in the gold line. This is an 18-inch Tony Stark Iron Man, as you have probably seen. But as David mentioned, we'll have that on display at the party and likely the booth.
Gleich wieder da, hier mit der Cam.
Unveiling or a teaser. And during our stage presentations that we have on stage with Marvel this year, and for any of those people who cannot attend, Marvel will be streaming over the course of the weekend, and our Saturday presentation from the stage will be available on VOD from YouTube. So you'll at least get to see that, and you'll get to see the 18-inch Iron Man in video form. We will also, if all goes according to plan, be able to unveil the edition numbers for this run and each of the different chases at the physical toys. So very excited about this. I mean, Funko is a big deal. We're excited to hang out with them at the VIP party. And just a quick note on housekeeping for the gold and silver logo holders, as you've seen in your email or confirmation the invite, there's a very short window in which to do your gold and silver logo redemption in person with David. And that'll be from 7 to, 7:45, David?
Yeah, pretty much 7:40. We do want to keep move these along so you guys enjoy the whole night of entertainment.
Schreibt gerne mal rein, ob wir vielleicht jetzt schon mal einen Cut machen sollen. Ich denke, da wird nicht mehr viel kommen. Schreibt gerne mal rein.
Milestone for VeVe was the partnership with Marvel in releasing the first fashion digital on VeVe with the famous French design house Christian Louboutin.
Oh, Louboutin. Yes, of course. Yeah, so this is an exciting partnership. Louboutin has done a capsule collection with Marvel for shoes, accessories, etc., inspired by Marvel characters and a world that Christian himself has built based on his love of comics called the Loubiverse. With each purchase in this capsule collection comes a promo code for redemption of a digital collectible on VeVe, which is amazing. And it is...
Ja, gut. Ich denke mal, da wird nicht mehr so viel kommen. Also zusammenfassend würde ich sagen, die Drops, die jetzt noch announced wurden, sind ganz nett, würde ich sagen. Das am Anfang die halbstündige Präsentation. Ja, ich fand's am Anfang, muss ich sagen, ganz spannend zu wissen, okay, wie ist das Ganze entstanden, wo kommt das Ganze her? Ist ja auch wirklich nice to know, weil ich ehrlich gesagt auch nicht wirklich viel gefunden habe dazu. Aber ich denke, was man vielleicht, also ich persönlich sage euch ganz ehrlich, ich hätte mir deutlich mehr erwartet. Ich dachte, da kommt jetzt wirklich ein richtig fettes Brett. Ich sag mal so, aber die Kollabo natürlich mit Marvel, dass sie jetzt das erste physische Comic mit rausbringen, wo sie auch hinten mit drauf sind, ist jetzt auch nicht allzu schlecht, ne? Also, ich glaube, dadurch, dass einfach viele hohe Erwartungen haben oder hatten, ist das Ganze jetzt natürlich ein bisschen runtergefallen, weil es einfach natürlich nicht den Erwartungen entspricht. Man sollte es aber vielleicht nicht ganz unterschätzen. Ich meine, Marvel ist auch weiterhin 'n großer Brand. Die verkaufen weiterhin immer noch 'ne Menge Comics, auch in physisch. Und, seien's nur 1 Million Comics oder so was, die verkaufen, wo dann VeVe hinten mit draufsteht oder sich das rumsprechen sollte. Ich denke, das könnte auf jeden Fall schon 'n positiven Effekt haben auf VeVe. Es ist 'n schleichender Marketingprozess, würde ich sagen. Aber ich muss euch auch ehrlich gestehen, ich hätte auch mehr erwartet, definitiv. Ähm, aber mal gucken, was dann noch so kommt. Und ey, Caro, no joke, lass uns direkt 'n Pack-Opening machen. Oder hier erst mal auf dieses Depressive, erst mal 'n Dorkana Pack-Opening. Nein, Spaß. Das Pack-Opening, mal gucken, ob ich das machen werde. Ich habe jetzt meine 2 Boxen aus der Schweiz bekommen. Mal gucken, ob ich dann noch 'n Pack-Opening mache oder nicht. Wie auch immer, Historical Space, ja, weiß ich nicht, ob der Titel so wirklich gut gewählt war, aber es ist ja auch mit 'nem Fragezeichen. Ich würde sagen, die Frage kann man relativ einfach beantworten. Es ist so 'n Jein, würde ich persönlich für mich sagen. Ich denke, so wie ich das auch im Chat gesehen habe, viele würden das eher als Nein betiteln. Ich denke aber, dass es trotzdem 'n wichtiger Schritt ist, einfach weil man sieht, okay, VeVe wird auch wirklich richtig jetzt in Marvels Produkte, was physisch angeht, jedenfalls auch mit eingebunden. Wir sehen's bei Louboutin beispielsweise genauso. Man sieht schon auf jeden Fall, es ist 'ne große Connection zwischen VeVe und auch Marvel, nicht zwischen Disney und VeVe, sondern wirklich exklusiv zwischen den beiden. Das kann auf jeden Fall interessant werden in Zukunft, wenn die weitere Produkte da auch mit denen releasen, sei es Funko und so weiter und so fort. Aber man wird sehen. Ich bin sehr gespannt, wie es auf der New York Comic Con ankommen wird, auch bei neuen Leuten. Ich werde versuchen, vielleicht mal mit dem einen oder anderen in 'n Interview zu gehen. Aber ansonsten versuche ich auf jeden Fall, ja, so viel mitzunehmen, wie mir geht, was Comics und so weiter angeht. Falls irgendwelche Leute da auf jeden Fall Interesse dran haben, schreibt's mir auf jeden Fall gerne privat. Dann versuche ich das irgendwie im Blick zu behalten. Aber ich sage euch ganz ehrlich, ich habe halt leider einfach auch nicht unendlich viel Platz, aber ich werde auf jeden Fall mein Bestes geben, vielleicht möglich auch was verlosen. Schauen wir dann einfach mal, wenn's soweit ist. Und in dem Sinne würde ich dann auch sagen, wünsche ich euch jetzt auf jeden Fall noch 'n schönen Abend und wir sehen uns dann auf jeden Fall im nächsten Video. Ich werde auf jeden Fall noch mal alle Drops zusammenfassen in einem Video, damit ihr auf jeden Fall dann noch mal aufm neuesten Stand seid, was jetzt alles kommt, weil es sind doch 'ne Menge Drops. Und ansonsten wünsche ich euch jetzt auf jeden Fall noch 'n wunderschönen Abend und ja, träumt auf jeden Fall was Gutes. Vielleicht von 'nem guten VeVe-Announcement, was hoffentlich mal irgendwann kommen wird, vielleicht Nintendo, whatever. Und in dem Sinne wünsche ich euch jetzt auf jeden Fall noch 'n schönen Abend und bis dann, euer Captain. Tschau, tschau.